This is Musings of the Shibe podcast. I'm your host, Roja Shibe.
Hello, this is Roja Shibe with another episode of Musings of the Shibe podcast. And this is episode 146. I want it, so tell me why. On this episode, we're going to cover people that want just the block size increase, the 2 megabyte block increase, and concerns that with SegWit 2x that they're not going to get the 2 megabyte increase. So we're going to discuss that a little bit. It's going to be a very short episode, but this will be the conclusion of our SegWit week. And from there, we will be discussing the negatives of all the different proposals. So the Bitcoin XT, Bitcoin Classic, Bitcoin Unlimited, the negatives of those proposals, maybe why they weren't implemented, even though we discussed a little bit about that when we try to define those different proposals. We're going to get kind of in the nitty-gritty about those three. Then we're going to talk about the SegWits, BIP 141, why it did not get activated, BIP 148, as well as the New York SegWit 2x, what's wrong with that. Then we're going to talk about chain split. And then hopefully, if nothing else comes out, we're going to wrap up our series about the Bitcoin block size debate by just kind of giving a summary of all that's going on and where we're at. And that should pretty much wrap up about what is going on. But before we get into discussion about bigger block size, so this is from Fortune.com, and it's about Mark Cuban getting into the Ethereum game. More specifically, he's going to invest into a ICO that is called Unigold, and it's supposed to be a betting platform. So here we go. This is from Lucida Shin. It was published by Mark Cuban, who previously helped Bitcoin's value drop after calling it a bubble, is now interested in another digital currency, and no, it's not Ethereum, but the Unigold. According to the CoinDesk, Cuban is participating in another fundraising round of one of his portfolio companies, the sport betting blockchain platform. Considered one of the most websites, most known communities reside in Fire. Each of them have their subreddit, and some of them have the one. Here are the 10 most popular cryptocurrency subreddits ranked by their subscribers. Our Bitcoin, which has 254k subscribers. This is the most popular cryptocurrency subreddit, and for good reason. It's a place where many Bitcoin enthusiasts, miners, traders, and newcomers all come together and discuss Bitcoin-related matter. Often you find its feature articles about popular Bitcoin news and technical discussions regarding the asset's future. Our darknet markets. While we at the Merkle do not promote an illegal activity, one cannot ignore the second largest cryptocurrency subreddit. This sub is dedicated to discussion of anything and everything related to darknet markets. And on any given day, you might find posts about someone getting busted for ordering drugs online, complaints about various markets, and discussions relating to placing orders, and so-called shitposts, which are meant to humor you with ridiculous stories. And that one has 142k subscribers. Our Ethereum. Ethereum has been making waves throughout the cryptocurrency markets and communities, and its subreddit is proud of this. It's extremely active, especially in light of the price surges and declines recently. Tweets, news, and text posts are all commonly seen here, and many which focus on Ethereum potentially taking Bitcoin's crown one day. 83k subscribers there. Ours Dogecoin? Yay, Dogecoin. Dogecoin is currently going through a period of intense rival. The coin itself has seen an impressive pump in value, and the subreddit is teeming with life now. The fun-loving and easygoing community has silly and serious posts alike and is always friendly. They often tip one another with their new tip bot and encourage everyone to participate. Much wow, very tip. They have 77k subscribers. We will do a Dogecoin update on the community as kind of a palate cleanser, if you will, about all this Bitcoin block size debate information. Our cryptocurrency has 67k subscribers. The subreddit is kind of a catch-all of anything cryptocurrency related. Unlike many subreddits which have rules barring discussions of other coins, our cryptocurrency welcomes any thoughts and quality posts. Our PTC has 43k, and just to note, our cryptocurrency has 67k subscribers. This is the second most popular Bitcoin subreddit. It was created after some members of the R Bitcoin felt that they were being censored and moved their discussions elsewhere. The subreddit activates for free and open discussion about Bitcoin above all else. Our Litecoin has 38k subscribers. Litecoin's performance the past year has been truly staggering, and part of this is due to its community's ability to coordinate well. The subreddit discusses all things Litecoin and also is running a Tipbot, is fairly active and welcoming to members in any discussion. Our Bitcoin Markets has 30K subscribers. As you might have guessed by this name, the subreddit tailors to Bitcoin traders looking for discussions about the cryptocurrency price movement. It features daily price discussions where people speculate about the market, and the rest of the sub is usually focused around exchanges and sometimes includes info about altcoin. Our Redcoin, 23K subscribers. The most recent cryptocurrency wave has benefited many coins, and Redcoin is no exception. The subreddit is all about social currency and lives up to its principles of trying to make digital currency easy and fun for everyone to use. And our Ripple, which has 14K subscribers. Ripple has been receiving a lot of attention lately, and this is reflected in the subreddit. The sub has a daily discussion thread to keep its subscribers engaged, and also has a steady stream of new posts. So there you go. Kind of a around the crypto look at, and that is it for the news. On to the discussion of bigger blocks and whether or not should SegWit 2x occur. Are we going to get the 2 megabyte upgrade 3 months after? Or just in general, will there be a bigger block? So this was from on our Bitcoin by Reddit user Ecafiliums, and it was just a concept that was put out there that eventually kind of sort of happened, but many people are wondering if it's going to happen or not. Compromise. Let's merge BIP 102, the 2 megabyte hard fork, and BIP 141 SegWit soft fork. So let's merge BIP 102 and BIP 141 into a single HF with overwhelming majority consensus. Since SegWit changes how the block size is calculated to use weights, our goal with the merger would be the 2 megabytes of transactable data. The SegWit weighting system measures the transaction weight to be 3x non-witness base plus base data with witness data. This weight is then limited to 4 megabytes, favoring witness data. Transactions aren't all the base or witness, so in practice, the block size limit is somewhere between 1 megabyte only base data and 4 megabyte only witness data with SegWit. With this proposed merger, we will increase SegWit weight limit from 4 megabytes to 8 megabytes, and this will allow 2 megabytes of base data, which is the goal of a 2 megabyte hard fork. It's a win-win solution, and we get 2 megabyte increase and we get SegWit. I know this compromise won't meet the ideals of everyone, but this is why it's compromised. And no one wins wholly, but we're better off, and that's where we started. So the reason why I talked about this is why apparently, according to those Jeff Garzik and those who are working on, not just Jeff Garzik, but other developers working on the New York Compromise to SegWit 2x, is that it's too difficult to activate SegWit and the hard fork at the same time. More importantly, activating the hard fork and then SegWit. So this is why you're getting, within the New York Compromise, you're getting SegWit first and then 3 months afterwards. But a lot of people are very deeply concerned that even if SegWit is signaled with the New York Compromise, and we get it, that the 2 megabyte hard fork won't happen later. In fact, that the miners might not go with it. They might just go to a Bitcoin Core protocol, and they might not allow for a 2 megabyte hard fork to occur. So here we go. RPTC. This was submitted by ZapDrive about 16 days ago. ELL5. Why does SegWit 2x activate SegWit immediately and then the 2 megabyte hard fork 3 months later? What prevents miners like Bitfury to go back to mining with the core client after SegWit gets activated to block the 2 megabyte hard fork? And then here, he has a little add-on here. This is not a compromise. The compromise would have been SegWit plus 2 megabyte immediately. Isn't it possible for miners like Bitfury, BTC, and FTPool to switch to the core client after SegWit activates? Because core will still be compatible with the new chain. This will let them block the 2 megabyte hard fork, and we will be back to square one, but in a worse position with irreversible SegWit activated. If they don't listen to us now, why do you think they will listen to us once they get what they want? So someone tries to attempt to answer this question. So let's say it gets activated at 80%, and Bitfury and BTC go back and refuse to get the hard fork to 2 megabytes. If there is 51% of the miners still honest, the hard fork will occur and the longest chain will live. On top of that, exchanges, wallets, ATM, merchants, and users will be more likely to pick the chain that has been fair and honest than the one who backtracked it after signaling for the 2 megabyte. And then someone kind of broke it down. magic lamp VM. If there's a 51% of the miners still honest, the HF will occur and the longest chain will live. That's exactly what the OPE tends to say. If, and that's the big fucking if. Why do we have to rely on if to get what we want when they get what they want immediately? On top of that, exchanges, wallets, and so he's quoting this, there's just an assumption that Ethereum Classic was a chain that was fair and honest, and look who got the ETH ticker. So, there's also a bit of contention, like if there is a chain split, and we'll kind of go into detail, who gets called Bitcoin? Because when Ethereum split, the chain that refunded everyone from the DAO debacle got to be called Ethereum, while the chain that says the code is the law was called ETC, or Ethereum Classic. So there's that very big contention too, because as this person stated, being fair and honest does not mean you're going to get called the proper coin, if you will. And then Zellman responded to Magic VM. There's already more mining voting for bigger blocks than SegWit, despite not being the official build. Censorship in Hong Kong agreement. Why would those backtrack? Doesn't it make sense to me? And my if stands strong. Ethereum Classic was not a surprise backtrack move. It was a well planned and announced from the start that they would fork off. It's another if, by all points, into having that the SegWit 2X is having the BTC ticker. Coinbase and BitPay are in, both huge for customers and merchant ecosystem. Who got the ETH ticker? The chain with the majority hash, the most secure one, and the one with the most user wallets exchange merchants pick up. So there's that issue. There's a deep concern that 2 megabytes is not going to happen when people start supporting the SegWit activation, whether it be for the New York compromise one or even the user activated soft fork, that we're not going to get an increase in the block size, particularly for those who want, that's something that they want. So this comes from June 13th, the CoinDesk article. BIP148 plus SegWit 2X, a Bitcoin scaling compromise might not be so easy. So, going through the article here to get, right here, I'm going to read this last part of the article. So many forks. Some of this already discussed that we've already kind of talked about, but some of it is kind of stuff we're going to talk about when we talk about the negatives of both SegWit 2X and the New York compromise. So, this last bit of the CoinDesk article, which again, it was written by Allison Hurton. So here we go. So many forks. Adding to all the complexity here is that each proposal on its own might result in some user forking off onto their own network. So whether it be SegWit 2X or BIP148, there's still a chance of a chain split. If the majority of mining pools don't flag support for SegWit, BIP148 will lead to the creation of 2 separate Bitcoin assets. Meanwhile, if users decide not to upgrade to 2 megabytes, SegWit 2X will lead to a split as well. Now, more than ever, there seems to be more efforts that could lead to splits, which is one reason why this current group of proposals have vehement detractors. Still, while that thought of a split is worrisome to many stakeholders, Bitcoin scaling debate has seen plenty of false alarms. In the past, other developers and users have suggested they would like to split off of Bitcoin, but none so far have actually followed through. Blockstream's Chief Strategy Officer, Samson Mo, for one, doesn't think it's possible to mandate that all users uphold the hard fork portion of the SegWit 2X agreement. That part that could lead to the split. Other developers have argued that it's impossible to mandate that everyone switch to the 2 megabyte version at a technical level. Because of these technical complications, some in the community doubt that the companies that sign on to the SegWit 2X proposal will see through with making the 2 megabyte upgrade. Basically, it's a promise that can't and won't be kept, Mo argued. So basically, even currently as we stand, and let me check the Bitcoin node count. So right now, Bitcoin Unlimited has, as of July, has 836 nodes according to Node Counter. There are a total of 7,512 nodes with 6,320 core nodes right currently as we speak. Then you have the classic nodes of 178, and there's still 38 nodes for XT. And then you have classic plus unlimited blocks of the last 1,000. That's 398. Classic plus unlimited hash rate is 2,21226. So those are the nodes. Let me see if CoinDance has the nodes that may be signaling BIP 148 yet. Doesn't look like that so far, but what they do have is explicit money pool support by proposal. So SegWit 2x attention has 84.2% of the hashing power. Segregated witness BIP 141 is still at 45%. Emerging consensus is at 40%. And BIP 100 is at 2.4%. And extension blocks are 2.4%. So that's pretty much it. I don't think we're going to probably see, not seeing any information on nodes signaling BIP 148, but I think that will eventually start being aggregated and looked at soon. But just to kind of sum it up, those who support bigger blocks that maybe have supported Bitcoin Classic or XT or currently supporting Bitcoin Unlimited don't believe with the current proposals that are at hand, whether it be the user-activated soft fork or even the New York consensus, that a raise in the block size is going to occur. Just simply because of the nature of what SegWit does to the block size, the transaction size, that it makes it possible and appear for a bigger block size, but not an actual hard base limit of a bigger block size, if you will. And there are a lot of people that are like, no, I don't want an add-on. I don't want Lightning Network. I want to do everything on chain. I want the bigger block size so I can have lower fees and do the things I need to do. And that's what really kind of needs to be done. So we're at there's this point where there's just a number of people that are very worried about SegWit, in particular the New York SegWit 2x, because the code is not as properly vetted as the other SegWit. And the other thing is they feel that there's a contention that the miners have too much power and they're not going to honor any type of agreements. There's still going to be some kind of chain split, whether it occurs in August 1st or kicking the can down the road 3 months later when there's supposed to be a 2 megabyte block size and there could be a chain split. Or there won't be a chain split because the economic recognition is that no one wants a chain split, so let's just keep things as is and not raise the block size. And people are going to feel betrayed, have hurt feelings, and who knows what's going to go from there. But I just want to put out there that, there is contention out there when it comes to SegWit, whether they're supporting SegWit 2x, that they feel that they're not going to get their bigger blocks. There's those out there that don't want either SegWit because all they want is a bigger block. Then you can have your SegWit or your Lightning Network, but please give me my bigger block first. So that is it for this episode and the ending of our SegWit week. Again, the next set of episodes are just kind of going over the negatives of the different proposals, Bitcoin XT, Unlimited, and Classic, kind of really the nitty-gritty of why those didn't go through. The two different SegWits, New York Agreement 1 and the user-activated soft fork, and a little bit touching on why BIP 141 wasn't activated in the first place, what's wrong with SegWit, if you will, why these different proposals are still having contentions and still maybe kind of battling, even though right now at 84% of the hashing power, SegWit 2x, at least the signaling of it, is very high and looks like it can go through and even have the BIP 90 meet the BIP 9 rolls. And then splitting, we're talking about the doomsday chain splitting, what that could mean potentially, kind of getting the nitty gritty of it for Bitcoin. We're going to look at ETC and the Ethereum chain split and some other things that have happened in the space when it comes to chain splitting. So thank you very much for listening, and to the moon.
Thank you for listening. Please rate and review either through iTunes or Stitchers or any of the podcasting apps that you're currently using to listen to this show. Thank you, and until next time. This has been a Hiroshi Shai Space Odyssey Network production.